Yamato sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the drumsticks in his hands. They felt heavier than usual, though he knew it wasn't the weight of the sticks. It was everything else. School, the band, his family, the expectations pulling him in every direction. For the first time, drumming didn't feel like an escape. It felt like another burden. A loud ping from his phone interrupted his thoughts. It was a message from Hiroshi. "Hiroshi, mate, don't forget we've got that meeting with the promoter tomorrow. We need to finalize the set list for the showcase." Kai groaned. He had completely forgotten about the showcase, a chance for Breakpoint to perform in front of talent scouts from a small record label. It was the biggest opportunity they'd ever had, but the thought of preparing for it made his chest tighten. He hadn't even touched his schoolwork for the week, and his teachers were starting to lose patience. Another ping. "John, I've got some new ideas for the set. Let's not waste time arguing about covers tomorrow." Kai dropped his phone onto the bed and buried his face in his hands. The band was barely holding together, and it felt like he was caught in the middle of everything. At school the next day, Kai could barely focus. His English teacher had handed back his latest essay, a bright red D scrawled across the top. "Kai, can we have a chat?" Mr. Dawson said after class. Kai nodded reluctantly and stayed behind as the other students filed out. "You're falling further behind," Mr. Dawson said, his tone serious but not unkind. "This isn't like you. What's going on?" Kai hesitated, trying to find the right words. "It's just everything. School, music, my parents. It's too much." Mr. Dawson gave him a thoughtful look. "You're talented, Kai, but you can't pour from an empty cup. If you keep spreading yourself too thin, something's going to give." Kai nodded, the words weighing heavily on him. During lunch, Kai sat with his usual group of classmates, picking at his food while they chatted about the upcoming school festival. "Hey, Kai," Rika said, opening his milk carton. "You coming to the festival this weekend?" Kai hesitated. The festival was a big deal, with food stalls, games, and performances by students. But this year, Breakpoint had a gig the same weekend, and Kai had already decided to skip the festival. "Probably not," he said, poking at his rice. "I've got something else." "Something else?" Kenji asked, raising an eyebrow. "What's more important than the festival?" Kai shrugged. "Band stuff. Band stuff," Rika said, smirking. "Wait, you're in a band." Kai nodded, feeling a mix of pride and discomfort. "That's cool," Kenji said. "What do you play?" "Drums," Kai replied, his voice quiet. Rika leaned forward with a teasing grin. "Drums, huh? Bet you just hit stuff and hope it sounds good." Kai forced a laugh, though the comment stung more than he let on. Despite moments like these, some classmates showed genuine interest in Kai's music. Hana, a girl from his science class, often asked him questions during breaks. "How'd you get into drumming?" she asked one day, her eyes bright with curiosity. Kai hesitated, unsure how much to share. "It just felt right. I started practicing at a neighbor's place, and it kind of took off from there." "That's so cool," Hana said, smiling. "I wish I had a talent like that." "It's not just talent," Kai said, surprising himself with how firm his voice sounded. "It's a lot of practice, and a lot of mistakes." Hana nodded, looking thoughtful. "I'd love to see your band play sometime." Kai's cheeks flushed. "Maybe," he said, offering a shy smile. But not all interactions were as kind. During PE, the teacher divided the class into teams for soccer. Kai ended up with some of the more boisterous boys, including Yudo, who was known for his loud, abrasive personality. As they jogged onto the field, Yudo glanced at Kai and smirked. "Hope you're better at soccer than you are at blending in." Kai froze for a split second, the words hitting harder than they should have. He bit his tongue and focused on the game, letting the sting of the comment fuel his determination to play well. When Kai scored a goal later in the match, Yudo gave him a grudging nod. "Not bad," he muttered. Kai didn't respond, but a small flicker of satisfaction warmed his chest. The tension followed him home. As soon as he walked through the door, Akio was waiting. "Kai," his father said, crossing his arms, "your school called. They are concerned about your grades." Kai's stomach sank. "I'm trying, Dad." "Trying isn't enough," Akio said, his voice rising. "You've been so wrapped up in this band that you're forgetting what really matters. If you don't shape up, I'll have no choice but to make you quit." Marissa stepped into the room, her tone calm but firm. "Akio, let's not jump to conclusions." His belly holding it together, Akio snapped. "This isn't working." Kai clenched his fists, his frustration bubbling over. "You don't understand. Music is the only thing I'm good at. It's the only thing that makes me feel like I belong." "You belong here," Akio said, his tone softening slightly. "But you need balance. Life isn't just about chasing dreams." Kai stormed past his parents and into his room, slamming the door behind him. At the band's next rehearsal, the tension in the room was palpable. The showcase was just days away, and everyone was on edge. "You're late," Hiroshi said as Kai arrived, setting up his drum kit. "Sorry," Kai muttered. The argument about the set list flared up again, voices overlapping as the band members tried to assert their opinions. Kai sat quietly, his head pounding, until he finally snapped. "Enough," he shouted, slamming his sticks onto the snare. The room fell silent. "This isn't working," Kai said, his voice shaking. "We are too busy fighting to even play. How are we supposed to impress anyone at the showcase like this?" Hiroshi sighed. "You're right. We need to focus." They spent the rest of the session in tense but productive silence, hammering out their set list. The showcase loomed, but Kai couldn't shake the feeling that everything was falling apart. His relationships at school, the pressure from his family, and the cracks in the band were all pulling him in different directions. As he lay in bed that night, his phone buzzed with a message from Hana. "Hana, I hope your gig goes well. You're really inspiring, Kai." The words brought a small smile to his face. Maybe, just maybe, he could hold it all together. With the showcase fast approaching, Kai must navigate the growing pressure in every part of his life. As tensions reach a boiling point, he's forced to confront the cracks in his relationships, both in the band and beyond.